What is up, everybody? So, in today's video, I decided to bust out the old green screen and bring you guys a sick top 10. In this top 10, I wanted to talk about 10 game-stealing Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So, I'm not going to give you guys too much detail about the video. You guys already know the routine. 1 is not better than 10, 10 is not better than 1, and etc. This is just a conglomerate of cards I think are very solid that just completely steals games and make all of us rage. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Without further ado, let's begin.
Ice on my wrist, looking kinda cool. Bad bitch with me, she ain't tryna move. Niggas staring at me, what you tryna do? Got me looking at my watch, and it's time to do.
Starting off, let's shoot straight into the video. Number 10, Raigeki. We've all dealt this card, bro. We've all dealt Raigeki. The card that you could be winning, you can set up your board with rogue decks like Masked Heroes, Dinosaurs. I mean, your opponent just top decks like, Raigeki for game. And you're just like, really, nigga? So, Raigeki has been always one of those cards that, even in the prime of its release back in Legend of Blue Eyes, when your opponent draws that, they Raigeki a field away that you work so hard to get, it really pisses you off, to be frank. So with that being said, I had to make this list on number 10 for one of the best cards that just steals games. Number 9, Magic Cylinder. Now this card is very different for what it does, and it's very different due to the fact that no one runs this card for good reason. It's not really good in the competitive aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh, but casually speaking, and when people do want to tech it in their competitive decks, it's a game stealer, bro. You're just beating your opponent down, or your opponent's beating you down, and then all of a sudden you're trying to attack the game. Cylinder. You lose half your life points, so you went for a big push with your boss monster. You're like, fuck, okay, what do I do next? He has 2 back row. Now you're scared to attack into your opponent again. I've seen so many people at locals lose to this card and just get pissed. It had him in my list because, to be frank, there used to be this one guy who used to play Yu-Gi-Oh at my locals a lot. He quit now. And he used to always tech Magic Cylinders in his booging deck. And that was the funniest shit ever, bro. It was so funny. Because he used to just make people rage with that. So with that being said, Cylinder had to make his list at number 9 because it steals games, man. It's fucking Magic Cylinder, man. Number 8, Imperial Water. Now, Imperial Water was a card that was banned for a good reason. It completely shuts off Magic cards. And guess what? We have it back at 1. So there's been tons of games I've personally lost to Imperial Order. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have lost to that card as well. Because if your opponent opened that game 1 and you don't have a Twin Twister or MST and they're playing a deck, let's say for example, like Paleozoics, True Draco, and they can establish a powerful board, it's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. So with that being said, man, Imperial Order is definitely a game ender and a game stealer, which is why I had to make this list. Number 7. Now, Mirror Force, bro. Mirror Force. Mirror Force is the type of card that, when it gets played on you, and this is for all the variants of Mirror Force, whether it's the wind version of Mirror Force, whether it's the water version of Mirror Force, or the fire version of Mirror Force, they're all really fucking good. They board wipe, and they can just win games. Simply just due to the fact that, same concept as Raigeki. You establish your board, you're going for a big push, and then your opponent has Mirror Force. Now you got to think about your next play and hope you don't get your shit pushed in game 2 and 3 by that one card. You're thinking more about your following moves. So it definitely puts you on edge when playing against the opponent. So with that being said, Mirror Force has to make this list because it's an OG card that stole a lot of games, and even in today's meta, if your opponent gets caught off with the Mirror Force at the right time, it's GG no re. Number 6. This is more of a newer card that's been coming out recently, that people have, not really the new card, that people have been using for a while now that just steals games. Raw Sphere Mode. Now, Gamma Seal and all the other Kaiju cards, those were game stealers because they were the one card out to things like Darklock, things like ABC Buster Dragon. But Raw Sphere Mode specifically is a really great card that just, in today's meta, is kind of needed in almost every other side deck, depending on how the meta turns out. If you have a deck like Goki's or another deck that can span a field, or a format where you just have decks that just spit monsters to the board and lock you out, to be frank, the only out you're going to have is Raw Sphere Mode. So it had to make this list. Complete game stiller, complete game changer, and I definitely say whenever the format changes, if you guys are watching this video a year from now and you have a format where it's lockdown 101, play Raw Spear mode in your side deck, bro. It's gonna definitely win you games, and it's definitely gonna steal you games. Number 5. Now this is for you rogue deck players and you people who like to play the Twilight, Light and Dark decks, the mill decks. Judgement Dragon, bruh. This card. Now, I wanted to keep this video as generic as possible, but I really couldn't because of the nature of the video and how archetype based Yu-Gi-Oh is. But Judgement Dragon is definitely a card that when your opponent rips them in Light Sworn, they usually have more than one. So the first Judgement Dragon is usually followed up by a second and third one. At least in my experience, for whatever reason, no matter if it's online or in real life, people always have a triple JD for game. So yeah, man, when you see Judgement Dragon, just start scooping your cards up, bro. Literally, just start scooping your cards up because they're just more than likely just gonna just, oh, play, pay 1,000, response, oh, you got a warning, adjustment or whatever, play another one, game, and you're just like, so yeah, man, Judgement Dragon. It's still in games. Really, really trolly card. I hate that card so much, man. Number 4 is my favorite card, Masked Hero, Darklock. Now, Masked Hero, Darklock. How does this steal game, you might ask? Simple. It's a floodgate. It's a helmet card. You open up Darklock first, and your opponent can't out it, and they're a graveyard-based deck, game. Now, on the flip side, people might see Darklock as the type of card where it's not really a game stealer because he's not winning you the game off back. But I disagree. Kind of like cards like how Raw Spear mode is. You have to open up with it, and it's obviously it's not going to bring your opponent's life points down to 0, but it's something that against a specific deck, it's very similar to Imperial Water. If your opponent can't out it, it's a game. So yeah. With that being said, Darklock had to make this list as one of the best boss monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! In my personal opinion, because it just gets you there. Number 3, going back to like a archetype, non-specific card, Honest and cards like it. Honest, Elemental Hero, Honestly Neos, Collude, all cards that can be activated in the hand during damage steps are game stealers, bro. Game stealers. Have you ever thought you finna just beat your opponent? You got 300 life points left, and they're playing light monsters in their deck, but you haven't seen Honest game 1 or game 2. Don't see Honest. Then game 3, you got 300 life points left. The game is going to the limits of both players' resources, and you try to attack over your opponent's monster. Damage step, you're like, really, bro? Honest, you're like, So, real talk, man. Honest, Collude, Honest and Neos, all game stealers, all game changers, man. So, cards like that just had to make this list because they do what the video says, steal games, and they do it the best, in my personal opinion. But they're not number 1, and they're definitely not number 2. I'm gonna get to those right now. Number 2. Now, this is hard between my number 1 pick. You guys probably haven't just figured out my number 1 pick yet. But my number 2 pick, Evenly Matched. Bruh. Okay, let me tell y'all about this card. This is the most absurd card in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment. Now, is it beatable? Yes. Do we have outs to it? Yes, but not enough in my personal opinion. And does it win games? Fuck yeah. Oh, set up my board. Playing my Yu-Gi-Oh! Set up my board. Pass. Opponent goes draw. Semi phase. Main phase 1. Battle phase, you're like, don't have it. Evenly matched, you're like, I just lost all my resources. Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, it's one of those cards that's like, if your opponent has it, there's nothing you can do about it. Just cry and hope their hand is trash so you can come back and win, which rarely happens, which is why it made this list. So yeah, man, Evenly Matched is definitely a game stealer, game winner, game ender, all of the above. It's arguably the best card on this list, honestly speaking, but I think number 1 just edges it out that much. And last but not least, my number 1 pick for top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that steal games, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Now, this is going to be controversial between Evenly Matched and my personal opinion because they both are really powerful at what they do. But Ash Blossom just edged it out a tad bit because of how abused Ash Blossom is in competitive play. Ash Blossom steals games because you could be playing your match, you can only have 1 tutor card in your deck, one play to make. You can just have card demise and that's it. And if your opponent has that Ash Blossom, game over. Same concept for if you're playing a deck like Heroes, or if you're playing anything that can be stopped by that card, and that card can stop, I think, over 100 Yu-Gi-Oh cards, if I'm not being mistaken. So, yeah, man, just by stopping that one key card play can just win tons of games. And there's plenty of games I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys lost, and a lot of you guys won because of Ash Blossom. And it wasn't because of that Ash Blossom, the tide of that game would have been different. So with all that being said, man, post y'all thoughts and opinions about this video in the comment section down below. And if there is a card that you guys think are game enders, game winners, and all of the above, let me hear about it, because there's a lot of things that could have been on this list that couldn't make it. First thing that comes to my mind is Torrential Tribute. So with all that being said, once again, this is InnovationYGO, bringing you guys another Yu-Gi-Oh top 10. My current schedule for my channel, Saturdays are going to be top 10. So every Saturday, you guys are going to get a top 10 video from me. And you guys, of course, will be getting my Friday Yu-Gi-Oh vlogs. So if you guys enjoy vlogs, Yu-Gi-Oh top 10s, and this is definitely the perfect channel for you, hit the subscribe button for more. Like, comment, and share. So with all that being said, once again, this is Chris from InnovationYGO, and I'm signing out. Peace.